You know that feeling when you're just under a mountain of pressure, maybe at work, and suddenly you get that awful knot in your stomach?
Oh, yeah. Or a headache just sort of pops up out of nowhere.
Exactly. It's like your mental stress has a direct phone line to your body.
Hmm.
And that connection, that intricate link between our state of mind, stress, and how it hits our bodies, especially through hormones and maybe even making us ill, that's what we're getting into today.
Right. And we're going to be drawing on some really interesting materials from a discussion between Little Monk and his master.
Okay.
And it's not just, abstract philosophy. They actually look at the real biological stuff happening, focusing quite a bit on cortisol.
Cortisol, the stress hormone.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
So our mission then for this deep dive is to really try and understand how stress, using hormones like cortisol as our main example, can impact your health.
And we'll be linking some of that ancient wisdom, like from the monk and master, with what modern science tells us.
Yeah, I think there's some surprising connections here, and hopefully some really practical things you can take away. Okay, let's unpack this.
Well, a really compelling place to start, I think, is the Buddha's realization about the middle way. The master uses this brilliant analogy with little monk, the guitar string.
Ah, the guitar string, right. So before enlightenment, the Buddha tried both extremes, didn't he? Like total indulgence and then super harsh austerity.
Yeah, neither worked.
And then he hears this father telling his son about tuning a guitar too tight, it snaps, too loose, no sound.
And that was the aha
Mm.
moment. Balance is key.
And that balance applies so directly to our bodies, doesn't it? Especially when you think about hormones.
Exactly. The master introduces hormones as these critical messengers in the body.
Like the different strings on that guitar, maybe.
Yeah,
Each one needing to be just right for the whole thing to work.
that's a great way to put it. They regulate, well, everything: mood, energy, sleep,
Yeah.
you name it.
So, just like the guitar needs tuning for harmony, our hormones need to be balanced for our bodies to function well.
Which brings us neatly to cortisol. It's often called the stress hormone.
But it's not all bad,
Mm.
right? The discussion points out it has a job to do, especially short term.
Absolutely vital, in fact. Think about the master's example, the ancient hunter facing a lion.
Right. Instant danger.
In that moment, cortisol floods the system. It jacks up your blood sugar for quick energy, boosts blood pressure to get it where it's needed, balances fluids.
And even dampens the immune system temporarily
Yeah.
to focus all resources on escaping the lion.
Exactly. Fight or flight. It's brilliant for short, sharp shocks.
But the problem is, our modern stressors aren't usually short, sharp shocks, are they? They're more like a low hum of anxiety.
Precisely. That's the mismatch. We're not often running from lions, but looming bills, work deadlines, traffic jams. Our body kind of reacts similarly, releasing cortisol. But because these stressors are often chronic, just ongoing.
The cortisol levels stay high, persistently high.
And that's where the trouble starts brewing. The master and little monk go into several big consequences of this chronic elevation.
Okay, like what? What did they focus on?
Well, one major one is sustained high blood pressure. Cortisol constricts arteries.
Like pinching a garden hose, the pressure inside goes up.
Exactly. And over time, that constant pressure can damage the artery walls. Not good.
Okay. What else?
Then there's the blood sugar issue. Constantly high cortisol keeps pushing sugar into the blood, but eventually your cells can become resistant to insulin.
Insulin being the key that lets sugar into the cells.
Right. So the sugar stays stuck in the bloodstream.
Ah,
The master flags this as a pathway towards type 2 diabetes.
wow, okay. High blood pressure, potential diabetes.
Mm-hmm.
What about the immune system? You said it dials it down initially.
Yeah, helpful for the lion scenario, but if it's suppressed long-term because of chronic stress.
You're more vulnerable to
Uh,
colds, flu.
Exactly.
Yeah.
More susceptible to infections. And the discussion even hints it could make it harder for the body to fight off more serious things, potentially.
The COVID pandemic certainly showed how important a strong immune system is.
A very relevant point.
Yeah.
And they also mentioned caffeine, interestingly.
Oh, how does that fit in?
Well, that morning coffee, it actually triggers more cortisol release.
Seriously. So you get a temporary boost, but you're actually adding to the stress hormone load.
Kind of creates the cycle of being constantly wired, mentally overloaded, more stress on the system.
And thinking bigger picture, we live longer now, right? So potentially we're exposed to these chronic stressors for decades longer than our ancestors.
That cumulative burden of high cortisol over many, many years, it could really add up, especially as we get older.
Let's go back to the blood flow thing.
Yeah.
You mentioned constricted arteries causing high blood pressure.
Yes, the hose analogy, but it's also about where the blood goes during stress.
Okay.
Fight or flight, remember. Blood gets shunted away from non-essential systems and towards the heart, brain, muscles.
What's considered non-essential in that moment?
Well, digestion, for one.
Ah, so less blood flow to your gut.
Precisely. And less blood means fewer immune cells patrolling the area down there.
Which makes it easier for bad stuff to take hold.
Loving the podcast? Don't miss out. Unlock the full episode with a subscription. Get in touch to subscribe now. Fix your inner world at gmail.com.